place for the city commission meeting here in South Dakota on February 27th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Weinrice.
Here.
Bragg.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda approval. Do we have any deletions or additions to our agenda tonight from the commission at all? That's almost a record.
Move to approve the agenda.
Have a move to approve by Commissioner Smith. Need a second on that item?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Robish. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrice.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.huronsd.gov. Click on Government and then City Commission. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube and Gmail, or use your existing accounts. Please state your name and address for a record. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Do we have anybody here tonight for public forum? From the audience, do you gentlemen have anything? I got a couple items for a public forum. One, due to the snow we had this last weekend, please take a look at your fire hydrants. You never know, it might be your house on fire and they can't get in and get the fire hydrants cleaned out. So just get a shovel, go clean them out 3 feet all the way around them. So if you would, that'd be appreciated by your neighbors, I'm sure, if nobody else. Other thing is your gas meters, make sure that they're not covered up with snow and they don't freeze up. They had an incident down in Madison where a house blew up because of that. So it's just a reminder to go out and do it. I went out and looked at mine. Mine was covered completely with snow. So yeah, my wife prodded me enough that I got that done. So, and also your roof vent. If you have an opportunity to take a look at your roof vent and see if it's not covered up. If you can't find somebody to go up there and do it for you. So those are just 3 items that I had, just as reminders, because we did have snow this last week. So, all right, moving on. The City Commission adjourns to convene as the Board of Adjustment for the following public hearing. A variance request, 4.1, a variance request filed by Iglesias Mission Evangelical the Principal the Paz Project 63 3rd Street Southwest to allow a church and related uses, services such as, which is not permitted use in the area code B2, Central Business District. So we had, Planning Commission had their planning, and they came out with what their opinion was. And I'll just read theirs. They start out with variance request to allow a church and related services which is not permitted in B2 Central, which is read. The planner, their statement on this situation was previous application for this had been denied. While parking is available due to many services, public parking availability will be an issue. Due to the proximity of the adult businesses, i.e. bars, I recommend denial of the request. That was the planner. Inspector, his statement was, I would recommend following the city zoning ordinance and not allowing a church in B2 zoning district. Hearing examiner, his statement recommends denial of the request. I understand the need to fill the empty buildings, but feel that would set a precedent for a future request for churches in the downtown area core, and parking could be an issue. So those are the people that sat in on the Planning Commission, and those are their statements. So I guess at this time we would entertain someone from the church that wants to come up and speak, to come up and speak.
We want to make a motion first, Mayor?
Yeah, we can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
Yeah, we have a motion to approve,
Second.
and we have a second to approve. Any roll call vote on that motion?
Discussion.
Oh, yeah, okay. You,
If somebody not speak Spanish?
yeah, you want to speak on the issue?
Yeah.
Okay, I need your name and address.
My name is Ambrosio. I come from the Church in Mission Príncipe de Paz. Over there is 3 Street. And, I come from the church.
Okay.
Because last time he told me what time he started church Saturday and Sunday. And I say 1 o'clock Sunday and 3 finish. And Saturday the same. And Thursday I can do 1 hours. I do like 4 days per week. 2 days is 1 hour and 1 day is 2 days 2 hours and because over there it's you say for parking I have a park for the city of make sure over here and I don't know because I rent and make sure I rent for gas right and because now I wanna tell make sure you help the guys or find some space for make sure location for church and I buy that or you help or make sure keep stay there or you want me move I don't know.
So your statement was that you do it you have the church open 4 days a week,
Yeah.
2 days is 2 hours, and 2 days is 1 hour each.
Yeah, because I go there.
Okay. All right. Any questions for this individual today from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Smith.
Thank you.
Hi.
All right.
Good, by you?
Are there going to be kitchen facilities in the church? Stoves, meal preparation
Yeah.
In that area? Gus, maybe, I can tell maybe you want to answer that?
There, Gus Manolis, 247 Dakota Avenue South.
Yeah, welcome.
There are no kitchen facilities in there. They may bring food during the service, but there are no kitchen facilities in there, and there won't be.
Okay. And if I may, how is the fire escape concerns over that? Is there any concern of exiting the facility in the event of a fire?
The front door and back door, there are buildings on both sides.
Entry and egress, both?
There's no place for egress.
Or, I'm sorry, but 2 entrances, I guess, is what
Right,
I'm getting
right.
at.
Front and rear.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this gentleman or for anybody?
I have a question in general, if I could, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
You've got the planner, the inspector, and the examiner were all consistent in their recommendation. They all made reference to the existing ordinance. I don't know if yourself or Brian or Mark or anybody can speak. What is the rationale behind an idea that a church has to come for a conditional use, and what is the rationale for not having a church in a B2 zone?
I can talk.
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
I don't know if I can answer your question, but I know it's been asked several times and there's been denial, and the first denial was pretty much, personal preference, I think it was, not anything legal, because it was all what they brought, and there's ample parking, there's all that, there's ample, the fire escape part of it or whatever, and it's not impeding on any businesses because it's usually on the weekend, and here, these guys want 2 more days during the week, but they're only 1 hour a day, so. The legal reason why it's not, I don't know, I have no idea. But I know the first one got denied, and I'm pretty sure it was a personal thing, but.
I I think to answer your question a little bit more, because of those different levels of zoning levels, it qualifies how you want the neighborhoods to look. And why, where churches fit in as far as B1, 2, 3, 4, I can't answer that. I don't know if it's qualified even in the business part of the ordinance.
Because I'm struggling personally, and again, I would say I tend to disagree, but with three recommendations here, I hate to go against our other folks that have done this work, but I'm just personally struggling with, I don't really understand from, the parking standpoint. We got, lots of other things in there that could have busy times with parking. If you talk about a movie theater, or you talk about anything down there where lots of people could come, I don't really understand why a church should be treated differently parking-wise, and we did make a move as this body to eliminate some of the parking restrictions that we had for downtown businesses. So to me, that piece of it, I don't really understand. And then the other piece is just going, I don't wanna go against zoning, and I understand, Brian, that's kind of the thought I would have, is you're trying to shape a city in a certain way and have certain types of businesses grouped together. But again, I guess I don't understand where, unless there's somebody here from one of the businesses around that wants to speak, as a business owner myself, I can understand if somebody feels like it would inhibit their ability to do business or would in some way impact an existing person, I would weight that very heavily. But in general, I guess I don't understand, we've got stores downtown that sell marijuana and that sell tobacco and that sell alcohol and that sell, clothing and sell, it's hard for me to say why we would make a judgment on one type of business over another. To further that point, right now, we've got churches all along, there's a Presbyterian church and a Lutheran church right off of the downtown corridor. I believe there's a church operating in the Masonic Lodge. There's a sign, at least, for Restoration Church on I don't know if they meet there or just have offices there, but I'm just personally trying to understand why I would vote against these guys and say no when we've already got churches that are in a similar distance to the downtown area. So I know nobody maybe has an answer, so I'll just leave it that way. That's my statement on it, but I'm personally, I really, really don't want to go against the recommendation of our three experts, but I'm having a tough time understanding the rationale behind it.
Just a comment, Mayor?
Yes.
Just for notation here, obviously, there was nobody that had spoken opposition of it. And it is stated here that it is next to the Sportsman's, and that has been notated that they don't have any issue with them on either side.
So that's sandwiching them right between the two that are pointed out, actually, and neither have opposition.
Any other comments? I'm gonna have a hard time voting against our experts. I'm gonna have a hard time changing our codes. That's what they're there for, and we could change them, but we're gonna do that tonight. So, that's, we already did one church that said, no, you can't be there, and pretty much had the same thing these gentlemen is talking about.
Now, was that church on Main Street, or was that, because this is.
It's right across from the library, or right across from the theater.
So there was different situations from there. Obviously, there's a lot of opposition for that, and they came and expressed that at the meeting. This is the complete opposite.
Yeah, but it's the same facts, though.
Right.
It's the same,
But-
same situation, I guess that's
Yeah.
my point,
But we have, as a conditional use permit, have the authority to take each situation differently.
Anything else?
feel a little compelled to maybe respond to some of this, because I was
Okay.
and this is in regard to this variance request, and I don't wanna dwell on the previous one, but it did set a bit of a precedence.
Okay.
The one that decision was made on, I believe, 3 to 4 years ago. And, I voted in favor of that at that time,
Yeah,
and, that's my intention to vote in favor of this in this go-around. I don't agree with, I know why the ordinances, the zoning requirements are set up the way they are, but they were set up years ago, and our downtown environment is changing. If the intent was not to have churches in our downtown business district from the people that authorized those zoning, when they started those zoning requirements, we wouldn't have the named churches that Commissioner Bragg spoke of in our downtown district. So somewhere along the line, something got changed. I'm not sure when. I'm not here to question that, but I feel that it's a clean business, it's a quiet business. It will bring people downtown, whether they're downtown for activity of going to the retail section. They are coming downtown, and I'd certainly rather have people downtown and creating some activity in town, in the downtown core area, under this setting than other settings. And I just think it's healthy to show that our downtown is busy for passersby and the rest of the community. So therefore, Mayor, I apologize for going on a soapbox here, but that's the direction that I'm
That's
going.
fine. That's what you're here for. Any other comments? I guess we're ready for a roll call vote. Okay, roll call
Can
vote.
we clarify how we're voting here?
Motion to approve.
To approve, okay. Thank you.
And we don't need 2/3 on it or anything like that, it's just a straight vote, so.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you want me to stay in there, or you want me to find some other space or some there?
We're voting on that right now.
Oh, okay, there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I didn't tell you that.
Ready?
Oh, I'm ready, yes.
Okay. Smith,
Aye.
Wainwright,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
I'm voting no. I'm gonna stay with the ordinance and stay with our planning people, so. All right, that passed then. Very good. Moving on, thank you. Thank you for coming in. It passed.
Thank you.
Good job. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, moving on, let's go here. The Board of Adjustment adjourns to reconvene as a city commission. We're gonna go into the consent agenda at this time. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed in the beginning of the formal items. 6.1, minutes of February 13th city commission meeting. 6.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 6.3, raffle, Little League, Huron Little League has a raffle. 6.4, set March 13th as the public hearing date to consider retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota wine licenses filed by MG Oil Company for the following locations: Corner Pantry, number 27, 563 3rd Street Southeast, Suite B, and Corner Pantry, number 30, 2075 Dakota Avenue South, Suite C. And we'll move to 6.5, which is payment of the bills. I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent.
Move to approve consent.
Okay, Commissioner Bragg, move to.
Second?
And we have a second by Commissioner Robish. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay. Bid quote items. We're gonna call our city engineer, Brett Runge. He's gonna take these three, 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3. If you would explain what we got going on here, Brett. Please.
Certainly, Mayor. Thank you. 7.1, consider awarding bid number 2023-07 asphalt concrete crack sealing. So I have a memo here for the city. We received bids for asphalt concrete crack sealing, and Lot Pros Inc. of Fergus Falls, Minnesota submitted the low bid and meets our specification requirements. The low bid was $76,422.30. We recommend that is awarded to Lot Pros Inc. They are the contractor that received the bid last year actually too, and they've done good work for us in the past. We have no issues with them. Would make a note though that we budgeted $67,379, so it's a little over our budget. But with the bid climate, it's less than 10,000 over the budget, and we recommend moving forward with it. The next one we have coming up here is the street milling and overlay. We're actually slightly under budget, so I think it all works out.
So
in the
we'll
end.
vote on this one first.
Right, but I just
Okay.
explained, yeah,
Yep.
so we'll recommend approval of this.
Right.
Motion to approve 7.1.
Okay, motion to approve by Commissioner Weinrich. Need a second?
Second.
Commissioner Smith, second. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, Brett, 7.2, please.
All right. Consider awarding bid number 2023-08, street milling and overlay. So we received bids for the street milling and overlay project, and Asphalt Paving Materials Company of Huron, South Dakota submitted the low bid and meets our specification requirements. The low bid was $1,335,040.70. That we budgeted $1,456,979 for the project, which also includes the asphalt or the airport pavement project in there. So we're under the budget. We do about 50 blocks a year of asphalt mill and overlay. It typically follows our water main projects and then other streets that are in need of it. This year, I would like to note that it includes 2 segments of Lincoln Ave. We have basically from Market Street or from the railroad tracks to 3rd Street will be done as fall paving because we have water main work to go in there first. And then we have from 3rd Street to 9th Street, I believe, is the other segment, which is spring or fall. And I think they were planning with their schedule for spring type work. But that's the big portion of this would be Lincoln Ave. Hopefully. With that being under the budget, though, we recommend approval of the bid.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to approve that, just so I don't get any more phone calls about Lincoln Avenue.
Second?
Motion approved by Commissioner Bragg, second Commissioner Robish. Roll call vote, please.
I have one question for.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, and that's okay, but are you gonna do Lincoln right after we dig that water main?
Yes.
We are going to, without compaction?
Yep, we've kind of, there was a time there when we were trying to wait for a freeze-thaw cycle through that. With this water main, these water main projects kind of tearing us into another year, right? Like for instance, last year when we bid the water main project, it was an 8-month lead time for fire hydrants. So we bid the project, but obviously it couldn't be completed even last year because the hydrants wouldn't be here in time. So we had to give them until this summer to finish that job. So we've kind of had to adjust some of that. We do a very rigorous compaction testing effort behind them as they're installing that water main. We test every couple feet as they come up and make sure that they're getting good compaction effort there. It's not ideal, but it's kind of what we're faced with here with the way this water main job. And
I'm with Mr. Bragg on that.
right,
I'm just
right,
saying.
understood. No, if we can give it a year, we usually like to have water main done 1 year and then come back the next year and do the mill and overlay. We're trying to get back to that. Actually, we are not planning on doing a water main project this year, besides the one that was bid last year.
Sure.
And hopefully we'll get back into that schedule, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, we're at 7.3.
Consider awarding quote 2023-19 new tractor for wastewater treatment facility. So, we received, quotes, Kibble Equipment of Huron, South Dakota provided a quote for this that, meets the Minnesota State bid, which we have, acknowledged the Minnesota State bid. We reviewed it with Tucker's help to see that it made, South Dakota State bid requirements, so we're procuring it through that. And, the quote is for $68,245.87. The budget was $85,000, so we're well under that budget, utilizing that bid procurement. Interesting enough, we just caught it in time because tomorrow is the last day that we will be able to utilize that. So anyways, we recommend approval of that quote.
Your motion.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Smith moves to approve.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Weinrich. Any other discussion on this item? Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 8.1, petitions and communications. Brett, we're gonna have you talk about this one also.
Thank you, Mayor. Consider proposed agreement with Infrastructure Design Group to complete a utility survey and create easements for city storm sewer and water main utilities on the state fairgrounds and authorize the city engineer to sign. So we've been working with the South Dakota State Fairgrounds for the last, well, we've been forever, right? But the last few years on the utilities that cross the state fairgrounds. And there's always been a issue of what's state fair utilities and what's city utilities. And we've worked together with them to kind of establish what we see as city utilities and what they see as the state fair utilities. We're in agreement of that. But as it may be, some of those city utilities that cross the state fairgrounds do not have utility easements. So what this does is, for future generations, we won't have to go through this again because it'll be pretty clear that the city will have utility easements over our utilities. Plus it cleans up maybe some liability concerns and different things for access to be able to get to those utilities and work on them, or if we need to. Some of them are integral part of the city's water main system. For instance, we have a 12-inch water main that crosses the state fairgrounds. We need access to that. That is a big artery of the city's water main. There's also some large storm sewer that collects from the west side of the state fairgrounds. It's very important to us. Sanitary sewer was not included in this because that actually runs down 3rd Street and is already within the right of way, so that was not an issue. So we reached out with the state fairgrounds and with Secretary Hunter Roberts, and we discussed this with them, and they are on board. They're to allow us to do this and committed to working together to approve these easements. Actually, the DEX facility that the city worked with for the storm sewer portion for the state fairgrounds, in our agreement with the state, it includes the plan to establish a utility easement once it was installed. So they're on board. The niche here is that the city would be footing the bill for that, but we have budgeted for it. They budgeted an hourly not to exceed fee of $19,500 to do the research and survey and draft up the utility easement documents and then get them submitted for approval and record. We budgeted $18,000, but unfortunately when we budgeted, we didn't include the rate increase that you would get at the first of the year, and that's why that fee's up a little bit. But we recommend approval of this.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Weinrich, motion to approve, and Commissioner Rovers seconds. Any discussion for this item? Yes, Commissioner Smith.
Brett, why, does this not benefit the state fairgrounds as well for this survey? My question to it is, if it doesn't, I understand that, but if it does, why would they not participate in the survey as far as cost?
There would be limited benefit there. There is benefit there, but the city wants it more than the state fair, because, like I said, we want to be able to have access and protect our utilities that are a major part of our systems, our storm sewer system, our water system. They're not as concerned about that from their perspective, right? So if we left it up to that, I don't believe this would get done, and that's kind of where it fell when we were talking to them about it, because it's just not as major of a concern for them. And for instance, full disclosure, when they were building the Dex facility and they ended up locating it over top of a city storm sewer, there's no easement on that. So for them, in that regard, it was better that there was no easement there, because then the city had, was stuck participating in the relocation of that storm sewer. We have an easement there will be more of a coordination effort and discussion of them not putting buildings over top of city utilities. So there'd be substantially probably more benefit to the city than to the state fairgrounds, but there is mutual benefit.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Moving on to ordinance and resolutions, we'll call on our city attorney, Tucker Valesky, to go over this item, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, 9.1, public hearing and second reading of ordinance number 2249-23-411, zoning, accessory buildings, and structures. This adds language that if you're going to have a detached accessory building less than 60 feet from the lot line, it must conform to the yard requirements of the principal building, and the added language, and also the separation requirements set forth in the currently adopted building codes, which this body has adopted and recognized.
All right.
Move to approve the ordinance, second reading.
Commissioner Smith moves to approve the ordinance on second reading. Need a motion to
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg, second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay. Moving on to departmental items, 10.1, I'm going to call on Commissioner Bragg to explain to us what this is.
You bet. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So this is a program we have been applying for the past several years. It's a Workwell grant that's 100% funded if approved by the state, and there is no local match requirement. We did apply last year and did not receive any funds. So we're hoping this year to, one of the things we did try to change up is what we're asking for is some blood pressure cuffs that we would have in each building potentially, where we would train our staff, and it would be just another wellness opportunity that staff in each of our buildings would be able to check those at any time if they wanted. So we did also have something similar to what we applied last year, just for our prizes and things to offset the cost of our wellness fair. But again, since it was denied last year, we tried to change it up and try something a little bit different. But again, key thing here is we are requesting up to $2,000, but it would be 100% with no match.
And we have one of those designated in here, right?
What's that? Yeah, there'll be one for this building. You might have to walk in the hall. No, I don't think it would be healthy to wear it during the meeting.
I'm surprised we didn't get that money last year, because all the years I've been around, we've always gotten that money.
So I think I asked that question too, because there's more groups getting around to asking for it.
Oh, okay,
Early on, not a lot of had caught on to it, and now they're getting more requests.
okay, all right. All right, I think we don't need anything
We
on
need
that.
a motion.
Yeah.
Move
I
to
would-
approve filing for the grant.
And I would
Okay.
second.
A motion to approve, Commissioner Smith, and a second by Commissioner Bragg. Roll call vote, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Wainwright,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, moving on to a work session. First work session